You were working overtime.
I love it.
Early, I'm watching Kyle in the pregame. Kyle's doing 45 minutes of Jags-Patriots talk.
You got to talk Jags secondary.
God bless you.
To be talked. Thank you very much. Our promise to the people every morning on Monday, every game, every highlight, and no screaming at each other.
No,
it's nice. If that's your jam, this is for you.
We have a button that if we start to raise the octave, we say, no, take it down a notch.
I scream. I just don't scream at you guys.
Good.
I love you guys. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's fun to like the people you're talking sports
Directional,
with.
you know. But things happened last night, Sunday Night Football. Supposed to be all quarterback controversy but weirdly it went to the Jets side of things, Kyle.
Well, let's go to the Western Pennsylvania side of things for this game. It's the Jets, it's the Steelers, it's Sunday Night Football, and it's the lead block. And good morning, football. Lead block. All right, Russell Wilson is getting the start. Aaron Rodgers is, of course, too, naturally. Incredible atmosphere. And there he is, Davante Adams, now a Jet. Would he lose to the Steelers twice in 1 week? Let's find out. Early on, it was okay. They kind of missed on the first one, and they were a little short, dinking and dunking. 3 catches, 30 yards in the first half. Would there be more? 7-6 early, and here we go. This is the Jets we told we would be getting, right, Peter?
Yeah, this is the one that we thought we would see in August. Breece Hall, yards after catch. He's been missing all season. There he goes.
And he thought he was going to score, but he doesn't, but it's okay. Watch what happens next. 3 plays later, we have a 3rd and goal. Rodgers. Tyler Conklin wide. This is beautiful.
Got him.
It's a great drive. It's their 2nd great touchdown drive, and there's all sorts of funny hijinks with the challenge flag. Maybe we'll get into that later. 15-6 now. Rodgers, and look at this.
Oh, my goodness.
United States of America, meet Beanie Bishop Jr., a.k.a. Shannon Bishop Jr. Guys, he's an undrafted rookie from West Virginia, and he became a national hero last night. And so did this man. Pickens!
Wow.
Pickens!
He picked that one up.
Unbelievable. He looked so good last night. And so after a really, really shaky start from Russ, in which you kept saying, they go on the fields, they go on the fields, Russ just started hitting Pickens, and a couple of those catches changed everything. 15-16, the Jets down 1, and this changed a lot too. Rodgers hits his star wideout, Garrett Wilson, right in the bleeping 5.
Who's 31?
Peter, that's Beanie Bishop Jr. Chris Collins was going, Beanie Baby. It was unbelievable. He did.
Got the nickname for
And he was telling Beanie Baby stories.
He was about collecting them and going and getting them all. This guy, and meanwhile, I don't know what Davante's saying on this. When he hits you in the 5, catch it. 23-15 now. Pittsburgh winning on a 4th and 1.
There you go.
Who is that?
It's Mike Williams.
Peter, have a second about Mike Williams.
Mike Williams missed 2 days of practice. Rodgers publicly aired him out, and then he gets the ball in 4th and 1. Just get this field goal. We got a 1-score game.
Greg Zuerlein, no! It's Mike Tirico says he worked on some technique this week. Keep working.
Danny Smith is fired up.
Danny Smith. Come on now.
the love.
Well, we got to make Danny Smith the head coach somehow. 4th quarter, 23. They're going to go up 2 scores. Russ, laser, touchdown. Van Jefferson, and the route is on? Wow. The Jets couldn't do anything in the second half, and Russ caught fire. 4th and 4. This is really 4th in the game. Rodgers goes to Davante, and Keanu Benton says, excellent, and knocks it down.
Get them paws up.
There's not a lot of famous Keanu. Keanu Neal, Keanu Reeves, Keanu Benton.
Keanu the movie.
Keanu the cat with Key and Peele.
Yeah.
All right, and then on a 4th and 2. Najee Harris was so tough all out. He wanted this one bad.
They could have taken knee after getting the first down. Najee's like,
stick it in the end zone.
Hey.
And he jumps in the crowd, and there is the face. Oh, look how Mike's looking at the camera. I missed that last night. Look at Russ, just a hero to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Iconic franchise. Guys, 37-15 blowouts. Look at the Jets' 2-5 record, and then stop looking at it. Look at the one below it. Steelers, 5-2. Let's hear from the blower of kisses, Mike Tomlin, and also a guy with a 2-5 team, Aaron Rodgers.
We're just appreciative of the work that was done tonight to make the night what it was. Hopefully there's growth in this as we move forward, man. But it's good to get a win.
I've been loving what the messaging that Bricks brought to us, and we had 3 great speakers last night at the team meeting, and the energy seemed really good. But for whatever reason today, it just kind of seemed a little flat in warm-ups. I mean, Sunday Night Football on NBC, only show on TV. I live for these games, and I just don't quite understand why the energy was a little bit flat.
Okay, so re-rack the motivational speeches for the Jets team dinner. Didn't quite take because the Steelers had 22-point victory. They had 10 points. They finished at 37. The Jets stayed put at 15. 31 unanswered, Kyle. It was a beautiful thing in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, the energy was off because they haven't won a game in a month, and they pick and choose who they're going to play and who they're going to bring in. They don't feel like a real team. But let's do the service, guys. We have a brand new connection that we're going to watch. It was much hyped. It was talked about all week. And on Sunday night, here you go, the quarterback and the wide receiver connection. Let's bring it out. The one that was really, give me Pickens and Russ. Give me Pickens and Russ.
Oh, yeah.
George Pickens looked like a superstar last night. Every catch was this freakish circus catch. And honestly, I really mean this.
But it's like he's trying to run a one-man band out there behind his seat. And he's kind of this is a make-or-break season. He's got to make an impact. Good morning, guys. Everybody, welcome back. It is Monday, October 21st. Welcome back to the Brandon Mason Show. Morning, everybody that's coming here today. Look, I'm so glad you guys are here. I know we had a couple days off. It was the weekend. We had NFL going on, a lot of craziness. Obviously, a lot of teams battling out there, trying to see who's going to be good. We're going to also let you guys know, obviously, we're live every day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m., unless there's some changes to our production and what we're doing, expanding our show a couple days in between. We got to make some adjustments, which is why you see us some days taking off, because we're making some adjustments here and getting ready for live guests to come on our platform, organizing the microphones and cameras for them to join us on our show. Welcome back. I got to tell you something. There's a lot going on. We're going to implement soon here what we have recapping the NFL weekend. We're going to all the teams, what's going on. And today I would jump on and talk about Deshaun Watson, right? Problem there, going to be gone. A lot of people trying to stick up for him. A lot of people hating on him. You got that going. We got the Jets, Aaron Rodgers, they fall again. A lot of that, I'm going to bring that to your attention here as we get forward into the program, what we do. But today, what we're talking about is the Miami Dolphins. What happened to the Miami Dolphins? Tua wants to come back. They lose Tyreek Hill, OBJ, Jalen Waddle. Were they a non-factor? And is Coach McDaniel in the hot seat? I got my coffee right here. As you guys know, we got every morning for the show live, for the action-packed conversation. But let's be real here. The Dolphins had some opportunities. They're up in the game. I got some highlights. I got some clips here to talk about here before we go into that. I'm just going to say, watching the game, it's like they got the people on the roster. They have the players in place. They have a defense. They have an offense. They got a good running game. They got receivers. They got weapons here. I got some highlights when I'm talking. You're going to be able to see. But I got to tell you something. Let me get right into the piece of the pie here that makes more sense. Are the Dolphins giving up on the 2024 NFL season? Like, let's be honest. Are they giving up on that? Obviously, seeing Tua go down weeks before was like, okay, do we give up now? What do? We don't have our quarterback, our starting quarterback, which is now planning to come back. We're going to go into that in a second. But look, they had some opportunities. I got the video here, footage to pull up when I'm talking right here. I just want to show you some of this because they were doing okay. Like watching some of the highlights, watching them play
on third down,
playing defense pretty damn good to start. And then realistically, when I look at like what they're doing, they have opportunities to make plays. They have some great opportunities on the defensive side of the ball, making plays. And they get to the point where you're watching, like the Dolphins are moving the football. Like the Dolphins really are moving the football. They put points on the board. They're up. I believe they were up like, 10-0 or whatever, and then it got to the point where it was like 13-13. And then,
confusion on the motion,
for the lack of better term, they just shit the bed. Like you're watching them over and over again, and it's like, what is actually going on? Are they giving up on the season because they lost their quarterback? And I hate to say this. But watching the Miami Dolphins play, and you see here they go up in the beginning of the game, and I don't think the Colts are that good anyway. But what happens is they lose their quarterback, and then it's like, okay, what I don't like in the National Football League is that when you lose your quarterback, why are you all of a sudden like, oh, shit, we're done? It's not like, and look, I like Tua. It's not like you lost, Josh Allen. You didn't lose Patrick Mahomes. Like, you didn't lose that type of quarterback. I'm just saying, I like Tua. I like what he brings to the table, a good person, a role model athlete. I always talk about that. I'm never going to talk bad about Tua. But when you lose Tua on your football team, yeah, it's your starting quarterback, but you didn't lose Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. You can now step up and find another quarterback to step in and play football. Maybe you don't win every single game, but to get out there, I mean, the Colts, I'm just saying, watching the Colts, they're not that damn good. And when I pull these clips up and I can fast forward here and what we're watching, fast forward some of these clips, and you see what happens. The Dolphins go up, and then here's what I believe is really going on. The Dolphins have opportunities, and then it's just like, do they not have the coaching
play action? Richardson,
I like Coach
a clean
McDaniel.
pocket to the sideline and a sliding catch by M.
the energy behind what he does,
Miami
running around the field, and people use the comedy is like he steps over his parents out of town. He steps in for the weekend. And I'm just saying, I like Coach McDaniel, I really do. But is he getting it done? That's the question. Are they giving up right now? Like, hey, what are we going to do? We don't have Tua anymore. Skyler stepped into the game. He got hurt. They're bringing Tyler Huntley over from the Baltimore Ravens. He just doesn't have enough, ability right now with that roster because he hasn't been there long enough to kind of gel with the line. Obviously, the receivers out there running the routes, the timing, everything that's going on, the checks. They got to stick to the fundamentals of what the Miami Dolphins can do with Tyler Huntley. Like, literally have to look at him and go, what are you good at? What are your talents? What's your strong skill set? Is it the short passes? Is it the medium passes? Is it the long pass? Is it play action? Is it your ability to use your legs, get outside the box and make plays? They got to get to whatever he can do to win football games. Because I got to tell you right now, being up against the Colts, they had an opportunity. If you're a Dolphins fan, you're watching this right now, you're like, what the hell is going on with the Dolphins? Like, Tyreek Hill, OBJ, Jalen Waddle, I'm going to get to that in a second. They're like a non-factor in the situation. I'm going to get that here in 1 second. I think that's important. But are they giving up ever since you saw, obviously, Tua walk off the field, start walking, across and going, we have another injury, right? I have all these different scenarios in which he gets helped off the field. And this is a couple years ago. Then it's last year, they're careful. Then it's this year. It's like, okay, there comes a point in time. I got a video here I'm going to show you. There comes a point in time where it's like, all right, this has gone on long enough. We've seen this song and dance, and now it's time to move on to a quarterback. Do the Miami Dolphins draft a quarterback? In the chat right now, I got the question up there. Should Tua keep playing? Should he hang up the cleats? Or do the Dolphins just stink in general? Like right now, in the chat right now. If you're watching this live, I appreciate you in the live stream right now. Throw the dice in the chat. If you're in the Mesa Mob, we greatly appreciate you joining our platform. I see the Fins out there. I see what's going on. Put Tua in the chat. Let YouTube know what we're talking about. And when I look at this whole scheme, I go, look, now Tua, is he ready to return for week 8? Like, do you guys think Tua should come back and play football? Watching what they're doing right now and their MO, is like, look, we have an all-star team. Like, let's be honest. The Miami Dolphins have an all-star team. What that means is, if you ever played on an all-star team, I'm going to break this down for you. If you ever played on an all-star team, you got a bunch of amazing people on your team. And you're trying to figure out where they all fit, right? It's like the Miami Heat when they had, obviously, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. All these people show up and you're like, okay, let's put people in the right position. But there's going to be a leader of your team. Some people are better than others, but it isn't like there's an eye out here. There isn't a problem. When you look at the Miami Dolphins, and I'm not saying they're having problems gelling. I'm not saying that they're not good people. I'm not saying they're fighting in the locker room. What I'm saying is there comes a point in time where you build a foundation. And you got your main people here, and as you build on it, you have a couple good receivers. What they've done is they have an all-star team at every position. You have the number one guy from here, or he was the number one guy from here. Look, it sounds good on paper. Excuse me. It sounds good on paper to have all these great individuals. The problem is, it is a true all-star team. And I don't think the Dolphins kind of fit this correctly. I think when they get out there on the field and they're playing together, you just have too many, who do we go to? You need to have your strong receiver, 2 receivers, a tight end, a guy you can do play action, hit your tight end, or a pop pass, or a little flat, or an out route. You got to be able to hit that big-time tight end. And I told you this before the season started. What did I say? The teams with great tight ends will flourish. I promise you that right now. Go around the National Football League, find every single team that has a beast tight end. They're the teams that can ball out. Even the 49ers, yeah, they fell. They got beat again. I'm telling you right now, with George Kittle, they are going to surprise you in the end. The 49ers will surprise you, right? Patrick Mahomes, obviously the Chiefs. With Kelsey, tight end, they're going to surprise you. You go around the National Football League where there's a tight end on the field and they have good running game. That's the team that you're going to see. Someone that's two-dimensional, can block, and can catch passes. That's what I'm saying. And the Miami Dolphins right now don't have their starting quarterback. I get that. And when I pull up these pictures and look at Tua, is he ready to return to the National Football League? And do you think Tua should come back to the National Football League in a position in which he's had multiple concussions? Multiple concussions. Tons of opportunities, obviously, but ever since college Alabama comes to the National Football League into the NFL, and you're like, this guy's banged up. They took a chance on him, and he's played well. He's played well, but he's not two-dimensional. He can't run the football, and that's a problem because his asset and his ability before being hurt was like back in the pocket, no one's open. Let me get outside the pocket. In 2024, there's two things you need. You need a two-dimensional quarterback, and you need a tight end. And if you don't have a two-dimensional quarterback, if you don't have that, then you're going to have a very strong running game. Let me talk about the teams that have a strong two-dimensional quarterback right now for a second. Patrick Mahomes, right? Two-dimensional, gets outside the pockets, makes plays with his legs. Lamar Jackson makes plays with his legs. Even Brock Purdy makes plays with his legs. And you're going to see, I'm telling you right now, you're going to see Brock Purdy flourish here later on in the season. They're going to make changes. They got George Kittle. They got receivers. They got Brock Purdy. They're going to be a surprising factor as you start watching them. You're going to see those three top teams are teams you're going to have to watch as you get closer and closer. But now the Dolphins are in a position where it's like, we're an all-star team. And like, what are we doing? Are we getting the ball in the hands of the people? Like, are we getting the ball in the hands where we need to go? Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, OBJ. They have an all-star team at the receiver position, and they couldn't even get it in their hands. You can't get the football to your top receivers. You're going to have a lot of issues. Am I right now in the chat? If you're watching this live, I appreciate you. In the chat right now, yes or no. Will the Miami Dolphins make the playoffs? If you're watching this live right now, put yes or no. If you're watching this later, will the Miami Dolphins make the playoffs, right? And Tyreek Hill got his money, got his big-time payday, right? And I love, when I look at Jalen Waddle and I look at Tyreek Hill, I'm like, you got two players that I love watching on the field. And I understand that they brought this together, right? And then all of a sudden, as this goes on, people are getting paid their money. You got defensive players getting their money. And then they hit you with this, I want to say it's like a trickaroo, they show up and all of a sudden OBJ's on the roster and you're like, what? I just don't get it. I like OBJ. OBJ with the Giants was phenomenal. OBJ with the Giants was top notch. OBJ with the Browns, not over the top, but not bad. And then OBJ with the Rams had some decent plays where I was like, all right, I like it, right? And I got a picture of him with, obviously in the Dolphins uniform too. But then they go, okay, let's bring in OBJ to the Miami Dolphins. And people are like, all right, well, this is going to be interesting. How do we factor in OBJ in a Miami Dolphins uniform with all these players, and how do they make this work? How do you gel this man into it? Here's the benefit of the situation. The benefit is instead of having OBJ need to be a number one receiver, he could be a number three receiver. He could be a guy that's a decoy, a guy that catches passes, screen passes if he's healthy and he's not injured. He can make plays, and that opens up the passing game for Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill to get open and make big-time plays in the field, and obviously OBJ will have his opportunity. They were a complete non-factor against the Colts. And look, I'm not saying the Colts are a piece of shit, but the Colts are no big-time football team this year. And I will tell you right now, they played the Indianapolis Colts away, not at home, and they were up. 10-0, 13-0, whatever. And they just let the shit tank. The defense, did they play horrible? Not really. They gave up 16 points in national football. Not bad. The Dolphins cannot put points on the board. Then missing field goals on top of that. And I'm just saying, watching them play was horrible. And all the teams they brought, even people like Jordan Poyer, they got so many players. And these fans out there are going to start getting upset. Obviously, already going, what's going on? And now, here's the biggest question of all. After Tua goes down, and people are like, he's done. Most of people, and I played this video a bunch of times, most of people in the National Football League, most of the players, most everybody out there is like, Tua, it's time to go. It's time to go, right? And I had a video here, I believe, that I pulled up. I believe you can hear it. Let me see if you can hear it.
Tua Tagovailoa after he suffered another concussion on the field. Tagovailoa struggled to get back up after the big hit. Now some are urging the 26-year-old star to consider stepping away from the game for good. ABC's Lara Spencer has the latest.
Second's going to run for the first down.
A scary moment on the football field, putting the issue of player safety front and center.
Here it is again.
Miami Dolphins star quarterback Tua Tagovailoa taking a hard shot to the head from the Buffalo Bills' Damar Hamlin. Late in the third quarter of the primetime game, Tagovailoa running the ball, lowering his shoulder and colliding with Hamlin.
And takes a shot at the 6-yard line.
Tua taking a brutal hit to the head. His hands appear to seize, an immediate sign of neurological trauma known as fencing. Rolling on his side, holding his helmet.
I was just worried about my guy, not something.
Before I go into that for a second, what I'm saying is this. I think the Miami Dolphins are confused as shit. They don't have an answer. They got a bunch of people out there. They went for broke. That's the problem. They went for broke this year. They want to get all the players they can get. They did. They went out there and got a shit ton of people, signed a bunch of people, and then they made Tua their guy for the future. They didn't sign Tua to a one-year deal and prepare their draft pick, whatever they wanted to do. Because you know what? If they were good this year, they wouldn't get a top draft pick. So if you think about it, in reality, if what they wanted to be true was true and Tua stepped up and played well this year, they would not get a top 5, top 7 pick in the draft next year to get a quarterback. So they probably did what they thought would make the most sense. And I kind of believe that Tua deserved to be paid. I just don't know if people understand how significant this injury is. And I want to show you one more clip here to finish off what people are saying. We showed this last week. And then I'm going to get to, after this, what Coach McDaniel said after last night's game. But let me just bring this to your attention right now first. Look at what these people are saying. You got to see this and hear this. This is so true about this injury. Listen to this one more time.
You ever want to be a part of, you hope not to.
Former NFL star Dez Bryant saying, that's it. The NFL has to do the right thing. Tua has had entirely way too many concussions. Hall of Famer Shannon Sharp agreeing, saying Tagovailoa should shut it down, writing, his concussions are getting worse and worse, and he's a young man with his entire life ahead of him. And Super Bowl champion Damian Woody telling Scott Van Pelt last night,
This game of football, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. You got so much life to live, and for me, it's just sickening to see this man. Seem like time and time again, being in that uncomfortable position.
the scene eerily similar to this one from the Dolphins' Thursday night football game 2 years prior.
Down he goes, slung down in his own 48-yard line.
Tagovailoa thrown to the ground, smashing his head and back on the turf, leaving the field on a stretcher. He suffered 2 confirmed concussions that season, and even before this most recent hit, the QB revealing he was considering retirement because of them.
I considered it, for a time, having sat down with my family. I love the game of football. If I didn't, I would have quit a long time.
I really have to tell you something. I like the way that he's approaching this because he's like, I want to be in the game. I want to play football. I get that. What I want to say is this, if you guys don't understand, if Tua just walks away from the game, he leaves like $80 million or more on the table, right? $100 million, whatever, on the table. If he comes back to football and the NFL says, you can't play, you got too many concussions, it's a huge liability, it's a risk to our organization, it's a risk to the National Football League, it's not a good situation. The Miami Dolphins go, we don't want that burden on us. That's the problem. And I think if he just quits, he loses all that money. If he shows up and he comes to practice and he goes, I want a ball, I want to play, and they turn him away or they don't put him in, then Tua gets his money. He gets a lot more money. And I hate to put it like that, but let's think about it for a second. If you're in the live stream right now, you're watching it, you can get $80 million, you can get $120 million, or you can get $200 million. A lot of people start thinking, you know what, maybe I should just come back and try to let them know I'm here. I put my life on the line for this, and rightfully so, he has. So it's kind of like, does he step up and do that to get his money, or does he not? But I can tell you right now, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and OBJ were a complete non-factor in the game. And that's a problem. You're playing the Colts. You're not playing a Super Bowl or your national champion or last year an AFC champion or an NFC champion. You're playing the Colts, and they're also in the process of building some stuff and getting their game going. And I think when you see the Miami Dolphins up against them and then be able to be up and then get beat, right? You're against the Indianapolis Colts, and you can't win that game, and you're pretty much a non-factor. Now, look, I love Tyreek Hill's game. I talk about him all the time, the speed, the ability to play, catch screen passes, turn a 5-yard play into a 100-yard touchdown. I like Tyreek Hill. Jalen Waddle, they complement each other well. OBJ, don't think really he's making a big difference this season unless there's a big injury. So, like I said, I just feel that's a problem. Now, here's the question. Is Coach McDaniel in the hot seat? In the chat right now. Welcome to the chat. People coming into the building right now. Annie, Stevie's girl, how you doing? Tracy, Jeff Lee, Pop's in the house. Brandon Jermaine's in the building. How you doing? Everyone in this live stream. Pitbull, Mama Prayers out. to the husband out there going through some things. We appreciate you. If you're in the building right now, Brenda, throw the dice in the chat right now. Let me know you guys are in here. And is Coach Mike McDaniel in the hot seat right now? Yes or no? What I'm saying right now is he doesn't seem to have an answer. And I think a lot of people out there right now are just like, well, we like him. He's quirky, right? Quirky. We like him. He brings energy. A lot of people with Flores was there. People were like, well, Flores was tough on the people. Tua said he was a horrible or a terrible person. You guys know how that went. They said that Coach Brian Flores was a terrible person. And I have those pictures up there where Tua with Flores, here's what, some of the stuff we saw with Flores out there. They said he was just tough. On the sideline walking up, he was kind of in your face a little bit more a tougher, in your face, nose to nose kind of man, trying to be, make you get out there and work. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But what I'm saying is a lot of the players apparently said that he was too tough on them or whatever, and too tough on Tua. But now Coach McDaniel giving a lot of praise, a lot of love to Tua, building that camaraderie, building that relationship. We have pictures with him, obviously, out there with Tua, trying to make sure that he knows that he believes in him, which I think is wonderful. When Tua came to the National Football League, everybody believed him, thought he was going to be a good quarterback, except for the fact there was injuries and yada, yada, yada. But now, here's the question. Is Coach McDaniel in the hot seat? Will he get fired? Will he get fired? Is this his last season? Will they terminate? The Dolphins have been coach to coach to coach to coach. I remember when I was brought in here and I was going to come down here and try for the Dolphins, and Coach Philbin was here. Why? Philbin, I believe, recruited me to the Packers when I came into the National Football League. I went to the Giants at first, had a bad knee injury, yada, yada, yada. You can do your research on that. And then I went to the Dolphins. I came down here, had workouts with Joe Philbin. They brought me in. I had workouts here. That's when Jeff Ireland, the GM, was here. They brought me in. I was excited about that. Ever since then, it's been coach after coach after coach after coach. Like, you don't really know, to be honest, who's going to be here next year. 1 minute you're loved, 1 minute you're hated. And this is not just the Miami Dolphins, everybody watching this right now. This is in the National Football League. This is people in every football team right now. It's what have you done for me lately? Are you winning football games, or are you not winning football games? And when you lose your quarterback, yeah, you get a lot of special treatment at first. You know what? You lost the quarterback. We get it. You were good to him. We know they have a relationship. We know he really appreciates him. And we see that together. I believe Tua believes in his coach, and that's wonderful. I really believe that's a great thing. But what I am saying right now is this. If you're not winning football games, you start losing your fan base. When you lose your fan base, you lose money. That is the key factor. When you're an owner of a football team and you buy into it for $100 million, $500 million, $1 billion, you buy an organization like the Miami Dolphins, who have, by the way, have grown from $100 million, $200 million to worth over $1 billion. They are worth a lot of money, billions of dollars, because of how just the NFL has grown. The problem now is this. If you're not winning football games, you're not making big-time money, and you're paying out a lot of money with all these players. And I think right now, more than anything, watching these people out there, watching the fans, and I got some pictures up here. I always like to pull up with the fans that are supposed to be in the stands, because they get out there and they support the Dolphins come week 1, and then come week 2, and then come week 3. When they show up like they're doing right now, it starts looking more like this. And when it starts looking more like that, then you have the owner, starting to look for, obviously, new coaching staff, new people, and they start at the top, and they start working their way down, and that's when you start having a problem. Roger, welcome to the building. We appreciate you coming in right now. And I'm just saying, everyone that's been in here today, do you think that Coach McDaniel will have his last season this year? Obviously, here's the thing. Tua gone helps him. Why? Because, hey, you lost your quarterback. Come on. You got everything lined up, but you lost your quarterback. That's the argument right now, is you don't have your quarterback. But even with their quarterback, if you're just joining us right now, anybody new in the building, who's coming in here right now? Who's coming in right now? Who's new in the building right now? DS Scam, how you doing? Welcome to the live stream. If you're watching this for the first time, hit that like button. If you're new to the live stream, put first time in the live stream right now. All I got to end with this is this. If you're not winning football games, you're not helping the Dolphins. That's just what it is. I don't care what you say, how you spin it, who your starter is, who's not your starter. And I just told you, if you don't have a starting quarterback, who's your backup quarterback? Tyler Huntley coming into the building. It doesn't seem like that's going to be the long solution, and they have to start looking at where Tua is going to go moving forward. Now, are the Dolphins the biggest letdown in 2024? Like that, I'm saying this for a reason. Do you think the Miami Dolphins are the biggest letdown in the National Football League this year? Obviously, the Cleveland Browns pretty upset about Deshaun Watson, paid him over $200 million. And that set the tone. I got to tell you, that set the tone for quarterbacks to get paid big money. Why? Because you got guys like Patrick Mahomes deserve to get paid big money. Josh Allen deserved to get big time. Even Dak Prescott, obviously not winning playoff games out there, but was in the MVP conversation, deserves to get some kind of money. If he would have left the Dolphins, he would have went somewhere else and got money somewhere else. The problem is, when you look at the whole scheme and the whole situation, Deshaun Watson got paid a shit ton of money. He wasn't even in the football game. Like, Deshaun Watson got paid a shit ton of money, and he was in some serious allegations, and then obviously not playing, injured a lot, and now he's out again. And I'm just saying, that's not his fault getting injured. I get that. But that big time over $200 million guaranteed. How about $50 million guaranteed, $120 million contract, $50 million guaranteed, which is a lot of money. If this position right now, if someone said, hey, Deshaun Watson, $100 million, they would never take that consideration. And then people like Daniel Jones. I mean, come on now. The kind of money you're paying out to Daniel Jones. And I like Daniel Jones. Reminds me of like Eli Manning, to look like the protege. Looks just like him. But not winning football games is the biggest problem. A waste of money, and now it's here. The Miami Dolphins, they paid who they had to pay, right? Tyreek Hill, big-time money. Tua, big-time money. Brought in Jordan Poyer. Brought in OBJ. Jalen Ramsey. They got Jalen Waddle. All the Jalens are freaking good. They lost Christian Wilkins, who would have been a great defensive tackle. Lost him. Defensive line in the box out there making plays. Lost him. And now it's like they are, in fact, the biggest letdown in the National Football League. The Cleveland Browns feel the same way, I'm telling you right now. There's other teams out there, of course, that are like, Dallas Cowboys, kind of a letdown right now. Could be a lot better. But the Miami Dolphins have an all-star team built around a basis of hopes and dreams. And it just doesn't look like that's going anywhere. So at the end of the day, watching everything, seeing what's going on, obviously Tua wants to return for Week 8. I think the Miami Dolphins are heading for a disaster with Tua in the game for one reason only: liability. You bring Tua into the game, you got a shit ton of liability. Let's call it like it is. You got a shit ton of liability. Bringing him into the game, and I just showed you a whole bunch of clips. You seen him getting hurt. You see him getting helped off the field. You see players being like, okay, it's time to go. It's time to pack it in. Hang up your cleats, take your money, and run. Whether you get 120 or 200 million, that's a shit ton of money. And everybody in this damn live stream, I'm pretty sure, right? So people that are in here right now watching this would say, take your damn money and run. The Miami Dolphins right now have to live the fight another day, and they got to find a quarterback. They need to find a goddamn quarterback. And I hate to say it like that, but we got to call spade a spade. I'm living in Miami. I want them to play well for those reasons. When I'm living in a city and you're there, I don't care if I'm living in Washington. I don't care if I'm living in San Francisco. I don't care if I'm living in Texas. I don't care if I'm living in Chicago. At the end of the day, that hometown team, you root for them because that builds your city where you're living and it thrives. Money comes in. People pour in. People from outside of that city want to come in. It's an opportunity for that place to grow. I wish they could play well. I love Tua, and I'm saying this because I want to be fair and be real to what I'm saying. I'm not hating on Tua. I love Tua. I love what he brings to the game of football. I love his motivation, his passion, his desire for the game of football. I don't love his decision to come back to football. I believe it's hurting him. It's hurting his family. It's hurting the Miami Dolphins, and it's really hurting the NFL, the risk factor and liability. He should take his money and run or make a deal with the Dolphins. Say, look, you owe me $100. Give me $20 more million. I'm out of here, whatever. I put my life on the line, yada, yada, yada. That's my opinion. I will be updating and doing some awesome things here on this platform, bringing it to you guys live here through all social media. We almost have it all done for you guys. It's going to be freaking great. All the marketing and media and relationships through all social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, everywhere will be live. We're almost there. Let me tell you something. Building a platform like this, it takes a lot of opportunity, and it takes a lot of manpower and a lot of technicalities. There's so many things out here. I'll show you this goddamn stream deck in front of me right here. You see this platform? If you guys see all these damn buttons right here, I want you guys to see something. I'm going to put a freaking recording here and a camera above me. You see all these damn buttons on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. But there's like 28 buttons on here. All different kinds of stuff on here. That's I have a whole nother one right here. You guys can see what's going on. I'm showing you a whole nother platform. All this stuff takes a lot of manpower to run, a lot of opportunities, and we're going to expand this shit to the biggest, to the fullest with the headquarters. We have tons of sponsors. We're not taking those deals yet because I want to make it perfect. That's our goal, make it perfect. The money is going to come, the opportunities are going to come, and everybody that's in the Mesa mob right now, you guys are going to be a big part of that shit. Trust me when I tell you, when you see this rocking and rolling. I got a message from Pitbull Mama, and she said, are we going to get back to those games? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Just like we did for the NBA, we did the playoff games. We will be doing more games here soon. We're just getting updated. Obviously, YouTube threw us for a goddamn curveball because we're rocking and rolling. And then when I sign off, let me tell you something. You're watching this live stream right now. You're part of our show. When I sign off, all of a sudden, I got all these messages wanting me to clear stuff and click this, is this, that, so they can start showing it. YouTube can show it. I'm like, don't ask me all this shit. I'm not looking at this. Just show the damn video to people and let people jump on here and be part of our crew and keep building and building and building. And that's how we do it. Prayers to Pitbull Mama and her husband out there going through some things. And when she's going through it, she's still in here hanging out with the team, helping us grow. And as we build, it's all coming back to you guys. I promise you. Everybody that's in this damn live stream in the morning, I take a screenshot every day. I know who's in here. Daniel, so great to have you in here too. If I didn't say yet, Roger's in the building. I appreciate you, Tracy, Stevie's girl, everybody right now as we get ready to sign off. If you're watching this live right now, everybody, if you're in the Mesa mob, put the dice in the chat. If you're out here right now, put a football in the chat, put Dolphin in the chat, put whatever you want, because I greatly appreciate you guys, and we are getting ready to rock, baby. We are getting ready to expand this platform, and I have a lot of opportunities coming, and people are ready to come on. I got the chairs, everything set up for the guests to join our show. Even on Zoom calls, they're going to be joining in. I try to make sure we had it all right and set up, because we don't want no technical issues in here, because that's a damn problem, and we're going to keep on building and building. I greatly appreciate you. And remember, if you're watching this right now, as soon as I sign off of here, refresh the video and leave a comment on the damn show, not on the side here. It will be on the bottom of the video. Everybody watching this right now, I need all of you right here. As soon as I sign off, give it 15 seconds, refresh the screen. It will be at the bottom, not on the side. It'll be at the bottom. Leave a message about this video today and let me know what you think about the video or about Tua or the Dolphins. Leave a message on there, because that's what gets this shit going viral across the internet and brings all the people into our show. Hit the like button, subscribe. I will see you guys soon. You guys are awesome. I love hanging out with you guys in the morning every day, Monday through Friday. And I will see you guys tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. We got a lot of shit to talk about tomorrow. Trust me when I tell you, you don't want to miss tomorrow. All love to you guys. Remember, leave a message on the video at the bottom. All love to you guys. You guys are the best. See you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Just painful to watch. You look at the guys on Philly, it took maybe a year or something, but like Nakobe Dean, who's been on that roster, was a third-round pick out of Georgia, like, is outstanding. It was all over the field. You had Jalen Carter everywhere on the field. You had Nolan Smith. So, like, we crowned them for all the Georgia stuff, and it's like last year, like, where are all the